You hear that music? You can feel it in the air, right? That's right, it's NBA Finals time. And so now we're going to get started with our new series called Mind of a Champion. So tune in today because you're going to want to hear the thoughts and the mentality from the great floor general Chris Paul of the Phoenix Suns. We'll talk about it from the psychological and psychiatric range too, of some of the things that he does to get himself ready for this big challenge. And I think hopefully in spending time thinking about how he prepares himself, that you'll have some things to take away that you can apply to your own life. So let's get into it. So up first, we're going to listen to Chris Paul and hear what he thinks about getting in the right mind frame.
Of training your mind is so valuable for anyone. Your mind may be what separates you from the next person. When speed is something that you don't have over your opponent, when athleticism is what you don't have over your opponent, I think your mind is one of your strongest skills, and that's something that has resonated with me. The way I get excited about basketball games is the same way I get excited about my daughter and her dance recital. It's the same way I got excited when my son came home with first place in chess club at school. So whatever your niche is, whatever that may be, find out what makes you happy and what makes you tick.
So I really like what Chris Paul is talking about here, and how does that map onto our brain biology? Well, it does turn out that our reward system is pretty unique and really, really strong. And so there are a lot of different things that can set that off, really. And so where the frontal lobe, so that's the front of the brain that's in charge of helping us make really great decisions, but also making executive decisions as well, that part is connected also to our reward system as well. And so the things that he talks about, like, cheering for his daughter and cheering for his son's accolades, and then also kind of the personal satisfaction from what he's able to do as an athlete on the floor. It turns out that, when you put someone in a functional MRI machine, we can see those same kind of pleasure areas of the brain lighting up, that all of those things are really helpful things to helping us to thrive. And so when you think about the good things in your life too, and how varied those are and how different they are, it's really amazing to think it's the same brain chemistry that's also lighting up and coming online to help you to feel and internalize that sense of accomplishment and good feeling. So let's tune into the next segment and see what else Chris Paul has to say.
Meditation is something that I've heard is amazing, and I didn't realize it probably till like a month ago that I'm sort of doing that on my own, whereas I get in the steam room, no phone, no music, no nothing, and I have to concentrate on my breathing. And I found that to be one of the best 10 to 15 minutes every day, and you're just re-energized because you needed that.
So that is really cool of Chris also to acknowledge the really great body of research actually that continues to develop. So you've probably heard terms like mindfulness and meditation. And so what are we helping the brain to do? Well, our current research actually demonstrates that when we do that, we're actually kind of cooling down the body. If you imagine that, in the frenetic and fast pace of our everyday, that our mind is constantly on. And so you imagine like the gears of a car, or like the CPU of your computer that is just running, and those things tend to heat up. Well, it turns out that being mindful and intentional about slowly breathing, about being connected to our environment, really does help lower cortisol and some of those inflammation markers in our body to help us to maybe reset and restore a little bit as well. And so you heard Chris say, without his phone, right? What is one of the main drivers of the things that keep us kind of connected and thinking about the next thing, the next event, the next thing we have to accomplish? And so I think that is really beautiful, and I'm sure that is really making a difference in helping Chris Paul to be so calm under pressure, is that he's also practicing and doing that intentionally every day. All right, let's tune back in and see what else he has to offer about his mindset.
Most people have a hard time telling people about issues that they're having. And so having a support system and people to talk to about those different things is the most fulfilling and free thing that you can do, instead of keeping things bottled inside. It may be a friend, it may be a family member, but
So again, Chris really hit it out of the park. often we're only as sick as our secrets. And that's sometimes what I'll tell young people or adults that I see one-on-one in clinic, that part of their ability to be resilient, meaning that their ability to bounce back in the face of adversity, is knowing that they're not alone, right? And knowing that the struggles that they struggle with don't just have to rest on their own shoulders, but they have other shoulders that they can kind of lean on or rely on. And so I like that Chris kind of emphasized that, because again, we know that is true both about any type of human striving. If we can help somebody to bear that with the community, they often come out kind of stronger on the other end. So again, kudos to Chris Paul for highlighting that. All right, let's see what else he has for us.
Thing that you can do instead of keeping things bottled inside. It may be a friend, it may be a family member, but the best thing that I can do, you can do, anybody can do is talk to somebody about it, because I guarantee you it makes you feel a whole lot better.
So, to his last point about talking about it, that's actually a really big thing. And if you've watched the channel, then you know stigma is one of the barriers that often lead people to not connect to the treatments or the intervention or talking to the person who could really help them on the next stage of the journey. And so being able to share that with someone and recognizing that it's a part of all of our strivings, that we might not all have a formally diagnosed mental disorder, but our mind state is often under assault, and so there can be things that make life really difficult for one person or another at various stages of our lives, and none of us get out of living without any kind of hardships that we bear along the way. So if you can fight the stigma, if you can apply some mindfulness, if you can connect to a really solid community, I really like those things that Chris Paul highlighted. I think they are evidence-based too, and things that we recommend for helping people to really wear the mind of a champion, meaning that they get to flourish in the world that they're in. Chris Paul, I can't pick a better co-host. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on, Milwaukee may have a representative there that can also speak to some really helpful things too. But hopefully you found Chris's tips helpful and things that you can apply in your own life. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this, be sure that you like, subscribe, and share this with a friend, especially a friend who might be a rabid NBA fan. You also aren't going to want to miss next week, where I'm actually going to highlight Giannis Antetokounmpo and talk about his strategies for really having that kind of warrior, resilient state of mind, and talking about mental wellness as well. So I think you'll really enjoy the tips that he has to share with us too. So don't miss it. Again, I appreciate you watching. As always, my friends, take good care and be well.